Hey guys, welcome back. It's Missy. You guys like my fiesta sleeves? I feel like I look like a piñata or something, but don't take it back to me because candy will not come out. So today's topic is on healing from childhood abuse / trauma and healing that inner child. Your inner child is a part of your personality that still feels and reacts like a child. Abuse victims a lot of the times get stuck at the age that they were abused at. So you may notice when triggers come up, you may still react how you did when you were a child, how you coped with it back then. You were not given the tools how to work through those traumas. To a lot of people, I think the word trauma has a big meaning behind it. Trauma can be scary for a lot of people. When they hear that word trauma, they think worst case scenario, like really intense things happening. But trauma is emotional distress, which causes physical / emotional changes. So anytime you've had something that has caused you to have some sort of distress, and then it caused you to change your emotional state in a negative way, that is a trauma. It's very common for someone who grows up with abuse to belittle the things they've been through because your abuser always belittled the things you went through. It could have been traumatic for you, for your parents to just not be around a lot. They maybe didn't necessarily have to do anything extreme to you. It just caused trauma not having them around, feeling like you need to take care of yourself. That can cause immense emotional distress. Now, if you don't heal that inner child, as an adult, you will take that with you. And you will still have those coping mechanisms. You will take those unhealthy habits, those unhealthy coping mechanisms, those unhealthy feelings, those negative emotions with you as an adult. Your childhood explains how you deal with all types of things in your life and the reasonings behind why you are the way you are. You can always find your answers in your childhood. Anytime you are remembering something that has happened, you are reliving it. So that's why all those feelings will come back. You may have anxiety, you may feel upset, you will feel all those feelings will come rushing back because when your brain imagines things, it is imagining that is there all over again. So it may feel like you're getting slapped in the face over and over and over again every time you think about it. Or you may notice if you try to repress your childhood, randomly you'll get flashbacks. That is your subconscious trying to bring to light, face me. I need healing. So it's important that you do heal that inner child so you can move forward and learn how to have a healthier life, have healthier relationships, not only with yourself, but with others as well. Unfortunately, with trauma and with dealing with emotional abuse as a child, there's no quick fix. It takes a lot of healing and work. So how do you heal that inner child? So the first thing is to acknowledge your feelings. It's important you don't fight how you're feeling, or you don't fight what's happened. You don't dismiss it like, oh, it wasn't a big deal, it didn't even affect me. If it's popping up and you're feeling something negative in your body, it's affecting you. So what I suggest is to write in a journal. Write about that thing that has happened, how it's affected you, how it made you feel, and express everything that has went on. And acknowledge yourself. Say, this did happen, and it did affect me, and it did suck. When recovering from past childhood abuse, a lot of feelings will come up. There may have been feelings or things that you felt like you already got through, and there may be feelings of things that you can't get past no matter how hard you try. Sometimes, as a coping mechanism, you may have noticed yourself, if feelings come up, you'll try to be busy or do things to distract yourself. Or you will try to find a good distraction or block it out entirely to not deal with those thoughts. Those coping skills are things you developed to protect yourself from ever having to deal with those past emotions, past trauma, past abuse. But the moment that you stop trying to run away and you stop trying to repress, is the moment where you'll be able to heal. So that's why the first thing is to work through your feelings. When you open that door, when you open that wound, it will be able to heal correctly versus where that door is always kind of half opened. You want to fully be able to close that door and move forward. A lot of the times when we are abused as children, we are taught that we aren't allowed to have our own emotions. So when you acknowledge them and you write them down, it's getting back in touch with yourself and allowing you to have those emotions and giving yourself that permission that it's okay. It's a safe place that you can have these emotions and you can deal with these things. You may notice anger will come up, and anger can be used as a tool for healing. Once you get past that anger, you will get to the real emotion, because anger is a secondary emotion. There's a feeling underneath that. A lot of the times anger is the doorway to open towards the real feelings. When feelings come up, acknowledge them, understand where they're coming from, and why you may feel that way. So that's why journaling really helps. Journaling is very healing because it gets out of your head and onto paper. You can feel heard, not judged, and you feel acknowledged. You're acknowledging yourself in that way. And it's in front of you. You can't run from it. It also helps you to discover things and come to realizations on your own. Normally in our brains, sometimes things can feel like a jumbled up puzzle. But when we write it, we can put the pieces together and make it a full puzzle. You will form a better understanding of yourself, your past, and why you are the way you are, which will give you some sort of relief because you know what you're working with and you can understand yourself better. It's important to go through these emotions and not avoid them so you can get to the other side. And a wave of emotions may come over you, and that's okay. Acknowledge them and accept them. Allow them to be that, your emotions. It can be really painful and it can be really hard. Just know this is something that you need to do. The next thing that is helpful is to grieve and let go of the parent that you wish you had. That can be tough and weird to hear because you're like, what do you mean? Let them off the hook? What do you mean let go of the parent you wish they were? They should have been a good parent. And you're absolutely right. You didn't deserve the things that have happened to you. At the same time, your reality is your reality. The reality is they weren't a good parent, and you need to accept that reality to be able to move on. They couldn't be that good parent that you needed, and they never will. By you holding on to the fact that they should have been a better parent, or you holding on to how you wish they were, that will keep you from being able to heal. And it sucks, and I'm sorry that they weren't the parent that you had longed for. It's unfair. It's not something you should have gone through. Something that may help is by writing them a letter. Like if you've seen my resentment video, you'll know what I'm going to say. So write them a letter of everything you've ever wanted to express to them, but you couldn't because they wouldn't acknowledge you. They weren't receptive. So they're not going to see this letter, but just write down all your feelings: anger, sadness, jealousy that other people have it but you don't. Just any type of emotion that you're feeling, make sure you get it all out onto paper, as negative as possible. In the letter, write about the parent you wish they were and how you wish you would have been treated. Then have them write a letter back to you. Pretend that they're writing a letter back to you, be them, and express what you needed to hear. Like they're sorry, acknowledging you, and they wish they could have been better. An apology that you've always needed but maybe you didn't hear. This will help you to release that dream that you always had wanted. That thing you were holding on to that you wish it would have been better. And it will help you to accept your reality. Accept your reality. Give yourself that acknowledgement and closure. Be able to release it. Let go of that past resentment and that past hurt of not having the family you had always wanted. Another thing is, some of you guys may already understand this and some of you guys are still struggling with this, but understand it's not your fault. There's nothing you could have done better to make them be better. You didn't deserve the abuse that you endured. It doesn't matter how many times your parent has told you you deserve this or you caused this. You didn't. You can't cause someone to react a certain way. They are responsible for their reactions to the things they do. Just like you're responsible for the way you react to things. It's not your fault. Some of these parents were mentally unhealthy, like narcissistic parent or a borderline or bipolar parent. Or they were an alcoholic and they were not in a situation where they could care, love, and nurture a child the way they needed to or they should have. Don't let your parents' voice overcome your mind and think that you deserved it for a second, because you didn't. The next thing is to learn from them. One thing I always say, that one of the only good things about dealing with hardships is there's always lessons. There's always things you can learn and use it as a growing experience. You can learn from them about how you don't want to be treated or you don't want to treat others. So you know the signs to look out for and what to stay away from, as well as you know that you don't want to make anyone feel the way that you have felt. Another thing is that when you were abused or you dealt with some sort of trauma, you could be fearful that you will be like your abuser. Don't let that fear control you. You already aren't like them because you are trying to be better. It doesn't matter what you've done in the past, even if you've maybe done some similar things, because we're always going to do similar things to our parents. We can't 100% escape our past. We can only try to be better. And that's the thing, is you're always trying to be better. You're always trying to learn. And that's the most important part. Oh, what is she doing? She's always got a problem. This girl, she's always got a problem. I'm very big on visualizations because something I always say is your brain doesn't know the difference between imagination and reality. So when you imagine things, you feel like it's actually happening. Visualizations are a big tool that can help you with everything in your life, especially healing. There's 2 visualizations that I think are really helpful. Now, everyone's different, so it's helpful to experiment. The first one that is helpful, that actually a lot of psychologists use, is to go back to that memory and imagine it the way that you wish it would have went. So if you remember something that traumatic happened, you visualize it happening in a better way. You visualize it happening in a more positive way. And that can help you heal to give you those wants and needs you needed as a child. This empowers you, makes you feel more in control, and makes the situation less detrimental so you can face it and turn bad into a better situation. Now close your eyes and go back to childhood you. Go back to memories that pop up that were very traumatizing for you, or memories that were really painful for you. Go with that emotion you were feeling. Angry, you were feeling sad, you were feeling abandoned. All the emotions you were feeling. Then have adult you, have a higher you, even have a nurturing you, a nurturing person, come in to your memory. Tell your childhood self you love them. Say nurturing things that you needed to hear at that time. Everything's gonna be okay. It's not your fault. We're gonna make it. Tell child you everything that you needed to hear but didn't. Be compassionate and nurturing towards little you. It's okay to cry. It's also okay if you need to stop because it's overwhelming. It can be very traumatizing going back. So if you feel like it's making you go back into bad habits, or it's hurting you really badly, it's okay for you to try again, little by little, over and over again, to try to heal that part of yourself. Also, something else that some people find really helpful is to imagine it the way you wish it would have happened. So if something were to happen, like let's say you went and you told your mom that you got in a school play, but in reality she yelled at you, she screamed at you, she made it a horrible experience. You can imagine that situation as if she was so excited for you and you guys went and it was such an amazing experience. You can replace that memory to a good one to help you heal and give you that childhood that you needed. Some people find the techniques really helpful and some people feel like it's not for them. So it's okay for you to try it, and if you feel like it's not for you, then don't force it. It's important to do trial and error and try different things to see what helps. Usually visualizations are extremely helpful. They're one of the top tools to help people heal. The next thing to heal your inner child is to reparent yourself. When you grow up in an abusive home, you don't receive the nurturing and love and support that you needed. You don't have your wants and needs fulfilled. You may have had emotionally absent parents, so all your physical needs were met, but emotionally, nothing you needed was met. Instead, you were given torment, neglect, criticism, hitting, punishments. You were deprived of your basic needs, emotional or physical. So because of that, you may feel like you have this empty hole in your heart, or sometimes you may feel empty and you may try to fulfill it with things like sex or food or relationships, intimacy, or work. But that's a temporary fill. When those things go away, you still feel that emptiness. And that is because you didn't heal that inner child and you didn't reparent yourself. It's because you're not getting that love and nurturing that you needed as a child. Those distractions, they can't heal that for you. And your parent may have manipulated you to feel that the things they were doing for you were out of love, or maybe they spoiled you physically and you didn't have any of your emotional needs met, so it felt like it was love, but it was conditional and you didn't receive that genuine love you needed. It was not genuine love. So the way to reparent yourself is first the way you talk to yourself. So make sure that you make yourself a priority. You make sure you are aware of your wants and needs and you fulfill those wants and needs. As well as you say little things to yourself like, I'm so happy you're here. You did such a great job. I love you so much. It's okay to make mistakes. We'll get back up. We'll do this. I'm so happy you're here. I forgive you. Giving yourself that nurture you always needed, being nurturing towards yourself. And even thank you. Thank you for doing that. Thank you for taking care of you. Use a nurturing voice. Because again, you're speaking to that inner child. So you want to be as nurturing and compassionate and understanding towards yourself as possible. It's also important to self-soothe. So when things go wrong, it basically means giving yourself compassion and understanding the way a parent would, or the way you would treat a friend. By using nurturing words and by reparenting yourself, by making yourself important, by fulfilling those wants and needs, filling your basic needs, allowing yourself to feel like you matter and you are of value, that will help fill that hole that you've been feeling. It's also important to surround yourself with support when you are trying to heal from your traumas and heal your inner child. As a child, you may have felt like you had to be alone or you needed to deal with things alone because you didn't have anyone else to talk to. You couldn't trust anybody. Or you were made to feel like your feelings didn't matter. But we're social creatures and we need emotional support. Don't think of it as you have to have it, otherwise you won't heal, because you still will heal. It will just be a slower process. So they are the addition. You are healing yourself on your own, and it's something you do need to do for yourself. But the emotional support is the extra, they're the addition that can help you moving forward. You need to feel like you have people behind you. Because when you feel alone and you feel isolated, you can feel depressed, and it can make you feel anxious, and it can feel scary when you're alone. It can make you feel like you're a child all over again and you're just isolated alone. If you don't feel like you have a support system, you can join groups or clubs or things that you enjoy doing and be surrounded with people that are interested in the same things. You want to find those genuine people that you can feel open with, because a lot of the times as childhood, we don't feel like we can trust others. We don't even feel like we can trust ourselves half the time, because we are taught not to trust ourselves, and we are taught only to trust our abusive parent. So that may be one of the reasons why you welcome unhealthy people. So you may feel like there's unhealthy people in your life, but now's the time to close those doors from those unhealthy people. Be aware of what you need and want in your life moving forward, and go towards those healthier people. You can notice those red flags and notice those unhealthy people that you don't want in your life. Another thing that's really helpful is meditating. Meditation is a really helpful tool to help retrain your brain to cope through that sadness, that anger, that distress. It also helps with pain. It helps lower stress. It helps you get in touch with yourself. It helps to just calm your body and be able to deal with everything that's going on. It can help you feel really grounded and in touch with yourself. Basically, what meditation is when you take 5, 10, 20 minutes, whatever you want, and you just sit and you either focus on your breathing, you can focus on a sound, you can focus on something. It's just allowing your thoughts to pass without judgment. A lot of times people confuse meditation with trying to think of nothing, but that's not possible. You're always going to think of something. You can't think of nothing. So what meditation actually is about just being in the moment, being present, and not judging your thoughts that pass by. You do want to try to focus on something like your breath or a certain word or a certain image. You do want to try to focus. You could even do, go through your body, whatever it is. You can have guided meditations. You do want to do that. It's mainly about just allowing thoughts to pass without judgment. That's why it helps retrain your brain, because a lot of times when thoughts pass, we entertain them. But with meditation, you're learning how to not. You're learning how to be disciplined, and you're learning how to not react to those thoughts. And that's what will happen is when you get thoughts, you will learn how to react less to them, entertain those negative thoughts less, and you'll be able to cope better. If you have dealt with any type of trauma, any type of abuse, I just want to say, I feel for you. I am so sorry you had to endure that. It wasn't fair. And I wish that I could just take it away, and I wish that you never had to deal with that. But unfortunately, I can't. So I will just try to give you my tools to help you heal, because you can heal. You need to go through this journey. It's good to go through journeys to help. It develops you. You learn things. Bad things are really hard to go through, and it sucks. People have to go through things, but it helps build character. It helps you to be who you are. It helps you to appreciate the good, because we can't appreciate the good without the bad. So I know you'll heal through this. And when you do these things, it will help you have a better life. So what do you guys think? Do you have any experiences you want to share? Or do you have anything that helps you heal your inner child? Leave it all in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you feel like someone could benefit from this. Thanks for watching. Until next time. Bye, guys. You guys like my fiestas? Don't let that fear... Wait, no, you actually will die. A lot of times people get meditation with confusion. A lot of times people meditate. You are reliving, and you're absolutely right. Tell them you love you. A lot of feelings will